This episode of the Practice of Therapy podcast is brought to you by TherapyNotes, TherapyNotes.com, and also by Green Oak Accounting, GreenOakAccounting.com. This is the Practice of Therapy podcast with Gordon Brewer, helping you to navigate your private practice journey. This is session number 163 of the Practice of Therapy podcast. Hello, folks. I'm Gordon Brewer. Glad you've joined me for this particular episode. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good week, and hope you made it through January okay. Here it is already February as this particular episode is coming out. I'm looking forward to you hearing from my guest for today, Colleen Hilton, who is with a company called Thrivelution. And I'm anxious for you to hear more about what she's doing. And Colleen is a therapist herself, and she really is tackling this whole thing around marketing. And what I loved is that she and her colleagues have developed a platform as a directory, as a way of matching therapists with potential clients in much the way that, if somebody were doing online dating, they get to a matching kind of thing. So anyway, I'm looking forward to you hearing more about her and what they have got to offer. And also just Colleen was a delight to talk to. She's one of those people that was just fun to have a conversation with, which always makes the podcast go well. So glad you've joined me for this particular episode. Before we get to Colleen, I did want to let you know that I'm in the process of updating the Google Workspace for Therapists course. Used to be known as G Suite for Therapists, but I'm working on getting the updates done and have been doing some recording this past week, which was exciting, and really buckling down on this. It's something that I've kind of put off for a while just with COVID. And then, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, just my wife's health concerns and all of that has kind of gotten in the way of getting that stuff done. But it's been fun to start pulling all this together and doing the updates to the course and getting it ready for the next version of it. But what I wanted to let you know is that while I'm in the middle of these updates, you can still get the course at its original price, which is just $98 for the Google Workspace for Therapists. I'm having trouble with the name just because I've been so used to calling it G Suite for Therapists. But anyway, you can still get to that if you'll go to the same URL, just practiceoftherapy.com/G Suite course. And you can find out about how to enroll in that. And what I wanted to let you know about enrolling is if you enroll now, you will get the updates, no questions. And also you will be able to have lifetime access to the course. So I wanted to encourage you to go ahead and do that, because once I get all the updates in there, the price is going to go up. And so anyway, take advantage of the original price while it's there, and you get the updates and lifetime access to those updates as I get them in there. The other thing that I'm doing, just to put a bug in your ear, is I'm working on getting another course that's really going to be kind of like a Google 2.0, Google Workspace for Therapists 2.0, but this time the course is going to be called Google Workspace as a Practice Platform is the name of this course. So we're really going to get into more advanced stuff in this course around Google. And so once that comes out, I'm going to make sure the current users of the course get the add-on course at a much greater discount than the course itself. There'll be kind of a package deal there. But anyway, wanted to let you know about that. No URL to send you to yet on that, but just wanted to make you aware of that particular course coming out. And really got some great guests lined up, and I'm looking forward to you hearing from some of the others I've got coming down the pike. I've also got an episode planned with my friend Daniel Fava from Private Practice Elevation. He's got a wonderful website out there, not website, but service out there for helping therapists with their websites. And I hired Daniel to do an update to my practice website because it was well overdue for a facelift. So I've got that episode coming up. Hopefully the updates for the website are going to be out here soon, and I'll be sure and let you know about that. You can visit my old website. Still, the URL is going to still be the same for my practice, kingsportcounseling.com. If you want to take a look at it now, I'm not too proud of that website right now, but it's getting a major facelift. But anyway, I'll let when that upcoming podcast comes out, Daniel walks me through his process of helping people update their websites. So he's really got a fascinating process. So anyway, that's coming up, and several other guests coming up. Also, my friends Kelly Higdon and Miranda Palmer from Zenny Me are going to be in an upcoming episode here soon. They were so gracious to they actually reached out to me to be on this podcast, and so I was just honored by that. But they are really some rock stars in this whole private practice space, and were some of the earlier people to get into this whole consulting with people around the building of their private practices. So anyway, looking forward to you with that looking forward to you hearing from them in that episode that's coming up. So anyway, before we get to Colleen, I'd like to remind you to go over and check out our sponsor for the podcast, TherapyNotes, therapynotes.com. They are the leading electronic health record system for private practices in the mental health space. They're who I use in my practice. And one quick bug in your ear of an update that they just let me know about this week is that their telehealth portal is now included in the subscription that you get with them. It was an add-on, but now it's all inclusive. And so they've got a telehealth portal for you to see clients all in one place, and their patient portal is second to none. You can create a totally paperless office situation with their patient portal, and it sends out reminders to patients, letting them know about their important appointments with you. Also, they will file insurance claims through their platform. So it's an all-in-one place to do your practice. Again, there's who I use in my practice and couldn't do without them. But be sure and use the promo code Gordon, Gordon, and you could get 2 months of their services for free. So be sure and check them out, therapynotes.com. So without further ado, here is Colleen Hilton, and she was such a delight to talk with, and I'm looking forward to you hearing about her and her company, Thrivelution. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Practice of Therapy podcast. And I'm so excited for everyone to get to meet Colleen Hilton we're just having trouble speaking today, aren't we, Colleen?
It's a Friday. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, me too. But anyway, welcome, Colleen. I'm glad you're here with me.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah. So Colleen is one of the principal people behind a new platform that when I found out about it, I got real excited because it's a newer marketing platform and directory for therapists called Thrivelution. And
You got
doing
it.
well with it because I was, as I was saying to Colleen before we started recording, I always want to put an extra syllable in it, but Thrivelution. And Colleen's going to tell us about that and just kind of her excitement around marketing. And I think more importantly, she's going to be talking about kind of our marketing mindset. So again, welcome, Colleen. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So as I start with everyone, why don't you tell folks a little bit about your practice journey and how you've landed where you landed?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's such a personal journey for all of us, how we came to therapy and what drives us to be helpers. Um, my specialty actually ended up being working with first responders in crisis management and critical incident stress debriefings, quite by accident. Just based on my internship, I ended up at a police station and just really connected with the community. And so I like to say that they chose me more than I chose them. But through moves in life, I found myself in a position to start a group practice in 2016 and really founded it on values of professional growth and collaboration, which I think are so important in our industry. But really found it difficult or a challenging point to figure out how to run an efficient business, not having had that education in grad school. I mean, they teach us how to be clinicians, and I think we're naturally empaths. But to really be successful in private practice, both as a solo practitioner and with a group practice, you really have to understand business and marketing and finance. And those are things that we don't get educated on. And I found real success in my group practice when I was able to hone in on marketing. And so that's really become a passion of mine, and changing our mindsets around marketing in the mental health industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. And I think that's one of the things that is a stuck point for a lot of us is that we just, and you were talking about this too before we started recording, just how we tend to think of marketing as kind of icky or too salesy, that sort of thing. And you've really kind of helped debunk some of that mindset. You want to say more about that? Just about, our mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I think marketing and advertising gets a really bad rap in the mental health industry. We feel like somehow being a helper doesn't align with doing marketing and advertising. But I truly believe that our professional ethics require that we do really effective marketing and advertising so that we can reach our ideal client who we can provide the most quality help to. If we're casting an incredibly wide net or maybe no net at all because we feel like the clients should just kind of magically find us when we build a website, we're not practicing from an abundance mindset that there are lots of clients out there and I really should be helping the people I'm passionate about helping and I'm trained to help. And it feeds back into the finances as well. If I'm not full for what is financially the right position for me personally, now I'm struggling, and how does that impact the work that I do clinically and maybe distract me in my sessions? But if we can really hone in on marketing, if we can market to our ideal client and attract that person into our practice and have a very clear brand, then the feedback loop just starts to work in a wonderful way where the clients are coming to us. We can charge what we're worth with all of our education and our training. That makes us feel good about what we're doing. Our clients have better outcomes because we're a good clinical fit. And like I said, the feedback loop just goes around in this wonderful manner. So I'm really passionate about therapists and counselors taking a second look at marketing and advertising for their practice and really thinking differently. Who is my ideal client and how do I connect with them in a meaningful way?
Yeah. So to kind of walk us through kind of your process for doing that and how would somebody go about doing that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different levels, and if we talk about it from what I'm going to call a general marketing perspective, we think of marketing like a funnel, where we can cast a wide net at the top, and we're building awareness about what we do, and we might interact with people who aren't potential customers, and who aren't the person that we actually want to connect with, all the way down to a finite point of maybe a direct referral through a psychiatrist or whatnot, where the person referred to you is really educated in what you do, and it's a very ideal match, and it's just very easy, like point to point, if that makes sense. When we're thinking about how do we reach clients, we want to make sure that we're not necessarily casting such a wide net at the top of the funnel that we're not interacting with our ideal client. And we also don't want to only rely on referral relationships, because that eliminates so many possibilities of connecting with people. So I kind of reverse engineer my marketing, and I think about who is my ideal client and kind of build the archetype on paper, right? What do they do for a living? Are they male or female, gender X? Where do they hang out? What do they do for a living? What are their problems, and how can I help solve those problems? And then I start thinking about ways that I can engage with them through my website, through social media marketing, through mutual referrals and networking, that I can really reach that population and provide real value to them. Because I think that's the key. We're not selling something. We're communicating the value that we have and how we can provide help.
Yes. Yeah. One of the ways I've heard marketing described is really just being able to help people help people that need your help be able to find you.
I mean, that's really exactly it. The potential clients are out there already, and they're already struggling, and they're already looking for help. By us doing really effective marketing, we can provide them the exact solution that they're looking for, as opposed to them maybe going to 3 or 4 therapists before they find the right person. Or, heaven forbid, they have 3 or 4 poor experiences and they give up on the process.
Yes.
Or they give up on the process for 10 years. And when they finally do reapproach it, they're that much further behind. So marketing just really helps give them what they're looking for in the first place.
Right.
And frankly, it supports our healthy businesses financially. And really, that's the holy grail in our industry. We come out of grad school and most of us have the hope and dream to open a private practice. And marketing's a key component of having that be successful.
Right. Yeah. So you've been on the kind of the ground floor in developing this new platform, Thrivelution, and tell folks maybe kind of the backstory behind that and how you've gotten to where you are today and all of that.
Yeah. So my passion for marketing has really driven Thrivelution and its inception. When I had my group practice and I was really kind of stumbling around with the marketing and trying to figure out, how to communicate with potential clients and how to get out there. I think I was doing all the traditional things, right? I had the referral relationships, we had the directory listings, but we found ourselves with, I'm going to say, abundance of clients, but not the right clients. And that is disheartening for us, where we have to say, I'm not the right fit for you. It's disheartening for our clients because they're asking for help and they keep running into all these roadblocks. And just in full candor, I had gone through a divorce earlier in my life, and I was chatting with Josh Dirks and Greg Bruman, who are the other co-founders. And I said, gosh, why isn't there like a dating app for Find Your Therapist? Why can't clients go on and say, this is what I'm looking for in an ideal therapist? And why can't therapists advertise who they are so that we could find each other more easily? And I think we all chuckled and then revisited the conversation later and went like, why isn't there some sort of dating app or matching system that is really focused on clinical fit? And it was out of that conversation that Thrivelution was born, that there had to be a better way than these antiquated white pages style directories where clients are faced with 100 options. There's decision fatigue. They might make dozens of phone calls with no responses. Clinicians are managing all these phone calls while they're trying to run their private practice and doing, like, in between those sessions, that 10-minute window is returning phone calls. It's just a frustrating, antiquated system all the way around. I mean, here we are, it's 2021 and COVID has created such awareness, and people are wanting the help now more than ever and are much more educated in what they're looking for. We have to have a better way of matching clients with clinicians. And so that's what we built with Thrivelution. We built a proprietary algorithm that matches based on qualitative factors and then presents the options to clients and clinicians to kind of mutually agree to that relationship. So there's that chance to vet each other out. And once it's a good fit, the clinicians can take it from there. And the hope is that we're supporting clients in finding the right counselors, and we're supporting clinicians in building really thriving private practices.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. I love that idea because you're right. I had not really thought about it. It's that about creating an algorithm that's huge because I think I've had it's not too unusual for me to get people to contact me to say, hey, Gordon, my daughter or son is off in college and they're in this particular town. Is there a therapist you can recommend for me? And, best I can do is go to, have been good, just going to Psychology Today and, kind of looking through just the tons of people that are there and have no clue if they'd be a good fit for their son or daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Those profiles, I mean, they're great for a high level look. But the real magic in therapy is that therapeutic alliance we build with our clients. And how do you convey that in a static white pages style search? The problem you're talking about is real. And a lot of people will even, they'll, in the best of intentions, say, oh, well, you should try my therapist. My therapist was fantastic, right? But that therapist isn't the right therapist for every client. So those personal referrals even become hard to create matches. So I'm so excited about the idea of the self of the therapist kind of coming to life through this searching process so that you can look for the person who does the type of work you need, maybe CBT or EMDR, but also is the human that you can connect with, because that's really where the magic of therapy occurs.
Yeah. So tell folks how Thrivelution works. I mean, from both the provider side, but also the client side. With the directory and all of that.
Yeah. So on the client side, we look like a matching service. If you go to our website, it's very easy to navigate, very engaging, and they can go through and answer questions about what their ideal therapist would be. Is it a male or a female? Do they have so many years of experience? Are they providing telehealth or in person? And they can go through a series of questions. On the counselor side, it's somewhat similar. It's tell us about yourselves. What are the things you're passionate about? What are your areas of expertise? Who's your ideal client so that we can help match. And clients are then presented with fewer options, but higher quality. So they're given maybe 3 to 5 counselors who are going to be really good fits. And they're even explained how it's a good fit. So I might be a 90% match, but Gordon, you might be 100% match. And clients can see what are the things that align and what are the things that maybe don't align and make a really educated decision about whether or not they would potentially want to work with this person. We have photo content and video content. And I always encourage counselors to build a video that really allows your personality to come through, because that is the component of the magic of therapy. And so counselors can build that profile linking to their website, outside resources, and really showcase who they are. So once a match is made on both sides, the counselor has a dashboard, and they can see what that potential client is looking for in a counselor and decide, am I the right fit for this person? Do I have room in my caseload? Really evaluate all this and accept or decline. If they accept, communication is opened up, and the client and the counselor can go from there in evaluating a relationship and seeing if we're going to schedule an intake. But at the same time, if a counselor doesn't have time, rather than playing phone tag or simply not returning the phone call, which leads to that really difficult position for a client, they click decline, and our system works to rematch that client with another therapist who could be a good fit.
Right.
So it frees up time and energy on the counselor side. You get so much more information. It's not just a cold call with a voicemail. So we're really hoping to expedite that connection process on both sides, give counselors, more space so they can do what they're really good at, which is the therapy. So right. I'm so excited about all of this. I mean, we're in this space in mental health. It's a shift in our whole industry, how people are flocking to get help. Yeah. And so I have this mindset of abundance that there is no reason why anyone who's in private practice isn't working with the clients that they love and being really invigorated and thriving.
Right. And I couldn't agree more, because I think, that, like you said, that abundance mindset is so important, and that there are more than enough clients out there for the therapists that we have. In fact, right now, at least what I'm hearing, the buzz I'm hearing is there is really a shortage of mental health providers in the country. And I know even in my area, just finding people to hire has been for my group practice has been something that's been a bit of a task. So,
yeah, it's a challenge for sure. And as a group practice owner, I completely agree with you. Finding the right clinician to bring into a practice is more challenging than ever. And yet we still have clinicians who are, hesitating to start that practice or hesitating to join a group, just for kind of fear. Am I going to be able to find clients? Am I going to be able to make money at this and create a financially stable place for myself and my family? Right. And I'm just excited to be part of that solution. Sure. And kind of unlocking us from that fear of doing the things that we're really passionate about.
Right. Yeah. So tell folks about how they can, if somebody's interested in getting started with you guys, what is that process?
So they can visit our website at thrivelution.com. And we've put together a special promo code for you, Gordon, and for your listeners. So if they enter the promo code MATCH21, they will get an additional 2 months for free. And the platform is free right now. We are really wanting to demonstrate value to the therapist and proof of concept. So we're partnering with them, not looking to make revenue on this. We're looking to create an opportunity. At some point down the road, we'll look at the revenue side. But right now, we really want to build relationships with the counselors. So if they go in and they put MATCH21 in the promo code, they'll get an additional 2 months on top of whatever our free period turns out to be. So there's absolutely no risk today. There's also the opportunity to get a kind of step-by-step start your practice checklist. If they're at the thrivelution.com/Thrive Practice Checklist. They can get access to that, and that'll give them step-by-step what they need to do, everything from how to file your EIN to setting up your website. Really trying to help people get past some of those initial hurdles of nobody ever taught me how to do this.
Right.
We really want to help people, jump across that and start what they've always been thinking of.
Oh, that's great. And we'll have, of course, links to all of this in the show summary and show notes for people to get easy access. So, Colleen, what are some other parting thoughts that you'd like to leave with folks that are listening to this episode?
I guess at this point, I'm just sitting at 2021 with a place of such optimism and excitement and hope. We, as an industry, we have so many new opportunities, both from a business standpoint, but really to deliver the care and help that people are wanting. And so I just want to challenge everyone to think about their preconceived notions and the narratives that we've had as an industry. And this is the moment for us to reevaluate them and, kind of turn everything on its head and think about how we can do things differently and how we can adapt and really be resilient as an industry through COVID and really jump into the opportunities that it is presenting us with.
Right. I couldn't agree more. I think now more than ever is a great time for people to move into private practice are really, but because the other thing too, just as a side note, is what we've learned this last year, really the silver lining with COVID has been that it doesn't take a lot of stuff to open a practice. I mean, with telehealth and all of that dynamic, the doors are wide open at this point. Around.
Yeah, they really are. And, mental health is so wonderful as an industry, and that we are so collaborative. We have colleagues, all across the United States, and podcasts like yours, Gordon, that really, seek to open the doors and demystify the process. So,
Right.
if you've ever thought about it, now's the moment, and to be tapping into some of the resources through influencers like yourself. And I hope that Thrivelution can be a resource for clinicians, but, now's the moment to kind of step forward bravely.
Yeah. All right. Well, Colleen, I'm so glad you joined me for this, and I'm sure we'll be having more conversations in the future about marketing and letting people really learn from your resources. And again, be sure and check them out, Thrivelution.com. And again, links in the show notes and the show summary. So be sure and check it out. And I'm sure, Colleen, we'll be talking to you again.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Gordon. I have been enjoying our conversation immensely.
Oh, me too. Well, folks, I hope you really enjoyed listening to Colleen and listening in on my conversation with Colleen, rather. And I know I just thoroughly enjoyed getting to know her and, talking about the things that they're doing at Thrivelution. I guess the thing that strikes me about it is I love hearing ideas that maybe we borrow from other businesses or other industries and then applying them to our profession. And I think what they have done, just in thinking about how do you match a therapist with the perfect client or vice versa, a client being able to find their perfect therapist. I think they've really are hitting on something great. But be sure and check them out at Thrivelution.com, and there'll be links again in the show summary here. Also, be sure and take advantage of that promo code that she mentioned is Match21, and you'll get an additional 2 extra months of their services for free when you sign up. And the other thing too is Colleen was so gracious to put together a checklist. And again, there'll be links here in the show summary, show notes to get that checklist. It's the Thriving Practice Checklist. And again, there'll be a link here in the show summary, show notes for you to get to that. So I'm so grateful again to Colleen for joining me for this particular episode. Be sure and, as I mentioned earlier, be sure and check out the Google Workspace for Therapists course. Again, I'm going through the middle of updates. And as those updates come there, I'm posting them directly to the course. So the point being is go ahead and get the course now while you can get it at the original price of just $98. After I get all the updates there, the price is going to go up. So be sure and take advantage of that, and you'll get lifetime access to the course regardless of when you enrolled in it. So anyway, be sure and check that out. And be sure and check out our sponsor for today's podcast, TherapyNotes, TherapyNotes.com. They are the leading electronic health record system for mental health providers and private practice. They're who I use in my practice, and I absolutely love using their platform. They've got a patient portal that is second to none, and it sends out reminders to people about appointments and makes the filing insurance claims seamless. and just effortless. And also they've got a telehealth feature now, and so you can do it all in one platform. So be sure and check them out, therapynotes.com. And be sure and use the promo code Gordon, just GORDON, and you can get 2 months of their services for free. So be sure and check them out. So thanks, folks, again for joining me for the podcast. This episode's coming out like a day late. We ran into some technical difficulties, and so I apologize for if you're listening to it, if you were anticipating it on Monday, this is coming out on Tuesday. So, but be sure and subscribe to the podcast wherever you might be listening to it, whether it be on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts or Stitcher or any of the other number of places that you can listen to podcasts. Hopefully you'll find us there. So, and leave us a review so that we can get some honest feedback about the podcast. And I look forward to talking with you again next week. So take care, folks. Have a good rest of your week and weekend. You have been listening to the Practice of Therapy podcast with Gordon Brewer. Please visit us at practiceoftherapy.com for more information, resources, and tools to help you in starting, building, and growing your private practice. And if you haven't done so already, please sign up to receive the free private practice startup guide at practiceoftherapy.com. The information in this podcast is intended to be accurate and authoritative concerning the subject matter covered. It is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, or producers are rendering legal, accounting, or clinical advice. If you need a professional, you should find the right person for that.